What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to take on an interesting topic today, and I'm going to be honest with you. My thoughts are so jumbled on this. I'm not even sure what my main argument is going to be. I just know I have thoughts on this. So what are we talking about right now? I've got so many tabs open. First of all, we are of course talking about the passing of O.J. Simpson. Here we go. O.J. Simpson, the former champion football running back turned actor who was acquitted in a sensational trial of charges that he murdered his ex-wife and her friend, has died of cancer. His family confirmed he was 76 and died Wednesday at his home in Las Vegas. Let's rewind a little bit. Most of us know the story of O.J. Simpson, who was accused of killing his wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend. Huge case, went on to despond to so many things. When I first saw this news, my first thought immediately was, I don't give a damn. Don't care. Why? O.J. Simpson was not somebody that I grew up watching. It was as simple as that. Bernie Mac, somebody I grew up watching. When he passed away, I felt that. Shed a tear. I remember watching the Bernie Mac show. I remember watching Kings of Comedy, seeing his set, loving his set, laughing at his set. I'm not gonna sit here and say I knew the man. It wasn't an uncle in my family. I didn't see him at backyard get-togethers or at the barbecue grill cooking. But he was somebody that, like, I enjoyed their art strongly. And so when they passed away, it hurt because it's like, I'll never get to see that art again. And you just, you know, you get those emotional connections to certain celebrities when you really resonate with their art. Didn't have that with OJ. Was not born when OJ was a thing. Was not born when he was killing it at USC as a running back. Was not born when he won the Heisman. Was not born when he made it to the NFL, killed it there. Was not born when he transitioned into television. Was not born when he transitioned into movies. I understand, though, that certain people were born, and this is a bigger than life individual. This is a person that if you saw on the street at that time, you were like, holy there's the juice, right? There's OJ. Because that was not my relationship to OJ, I recognize that when he died, it was like, whoa, big name just died, but also, don't care. And then somebody commented on a post that I had shared on Facebook, because some of us still use Facebook, especially the millennials. We're not going away from it. It's just one of those things that's super easy to do, right? Somebody commented on a post that I shared basically saying that OJ had died, and they had said that they were upset. They were upset because they had been watching Undisputed, and on the show, Keyshawn Johnson had basically said, I'm mourning the loss of a great football player. I'm separating the player from the person, and I'm going to be sad that we've lost such a spark in the NFL world. Well, this friend basically said, I'm tired of seeing the outpouring of love for OJ. Let's not forget that he's a murderer. Let's not forget that he killed two people. Let's not forget that he changed the trajectory of two families forever. Stop showing this man love. So I read that. I digested that, ate it, chewed on it, analyzed it. And originally my output was, okay, I understand that. No, that's fair. No, I totally get it. He killed two people. I don't think we should mourn him. That was my initial reaction. And as I was getting ready to type back a reply to say, hey, you got it, you right. Or just, I don't care either way. I started to really think about what he had said. He's upset because the individual murdered two individuals. Did he murder two individuals? Let me be clear. Let me stop right there. Because if I go too far without saying my opinion, I know people are going to turn off and be like, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I do want to say, do I believe O.J. Simpson did it? Yes. Yes, I believe O.J. Simpson did it, right? Partly because my entire life I was raised under the joke, the mystery, the lore that he did it. Let's see what else. They found blood evidence. They found that whoever did this dropped blood, shoe prints at the residence that only 5% of the population would, 0.5% of the population would match. Simpson, OJ happened to be a match. And then, of course, you've got the infamous Ford Bronco driving down the highway, bunch of cops following him. Doesn't look good, right? So yes, I do believe OJ did it. But that's not where my interest lies. My interest lies in the courts. In the courts, because the courts, we've collectively decided, which is crazy to say because I don't remember being there for that vote. But through history, we've decided that the courts are there to establish guilt, to stop people from mob mentality, to stop people from vigilante justice. We've decided that we're going to assign certain people who go through years of schooling and then years of experience to determine or facilitate the determination of judgment against somebody we believe to have committed a crime. Either a judge or a jury of your peers are going to pronounce you guilty or not guilty. If you're guilty, you face repercussions. Your life is forever altered. Good or bad, your life is forever altered and your title is forever altered. Found not guilty, in most cases, your life should not be altered. You should face no repercussions and there should be no addendum to your title. You're not Mr. Right tried once for robbery. You're just Mr. Right. Versus, I'm not putting this on my title, Mr. Stone, sex offender for life. You see what I'm saying? OJ went through this system that we've said is going to establish guilty or not guilty. Regardless of how we feel about it, he was found not guilty. And that is where my interest lies. Because if an individual is found not guilty, if we've put our trust in this institution to determine whether somebody's guilty or not, once that verdict is rendered, their life should not be altered or title changed. However, we've all, for some reason, not for some reason, because of the preponderance of evidence, we have all collectively decided that OJ did do it. We don't give a damn what the court says. That's fine. I'm already on the train that he did it. However, I can't help but to sit here and think, one, how would I feel if I knew for a fact I didn't do something? Let's do a base level kindergarten crime. If I knew that while in class, I did not steal somebody's milk during lunchtime, but several individuals saw me in the room with the milk by myself at one point, well, then the teacher might be led to believe that I had something to do with the disappearing milk. And so the teacher now has to make the legal court decision of, did he do it or did he not do it? And she then says, based upon whatever I tell her, my testimony and other evidence, you're not guilty. I don't want then for everybody in that room to look at me as a thief of milk and hide their milk cartons from me. Like I said, very simple, stupid example, but my point stands that OJ then had to go through the rest of his life being labeled a murderer. No matter what he did, no matter what greatness he achieved in the past, no matter how much he might have tried to atone for his sins, he was labeled murderer even though he was found not guilty in the court. The second thing that stands out to me then is when it comes to his death, right? In life, he was forced upon this title. In death, individuals are going to face flack. They're going to face scrutiny. They're going to be demonized if they show any type of empathy towards OJ, whether you want to show empathy because of what he did on the television screen or on the field. Certain individuals may feel sorry for him or sad for his passing. I wondered, is it then right to demonize those individuals? Is it then right to judge these individuals harshly? I can see in an R. Kelly case, if somebody comes out and says, free R. Kelly, or, R. Kelly's still my guy, how that person could be judged, because R. Kelly was found guilty in a court of law for doing some terrible things. I could see how somebody who comes out and holds up a sign saying, I miss Epstein, or wears a shirt that says free Epstein, or you can't say free, but bring back Epstein, how an individual could face a lot of scrutiny for having that shirt on because Epstein was found guilty in a court of law and given that title, forever punished. OJ did not have that on him, but public perception says that he did. And like I said in the beginning, I do think, based upon the evidence, based upon what I've been told, based upon the jokes that I've seen, based upon what other people who I guess were in that area at the time, like we have these two, Cato and who's the other person? Alan Park, who were witnesses to everything, say that OJ did do this crime. And I will say right now, it does seem like for the most part, the majority of people who are reporting on this have taken either a neutral tone or a aggressive tone towards OJ's passing. Like, for example, we have Jimmy Kimmel here, who recently came out and was talking about OJ now being in hell. And then he referenced a Caitlyn Jenner tweet who said, "Good riddance, hashtag OJ Simpson." Kimmel had also made a reference earlier that, it's rare that a celebrity as famous as OJ doesn't get an outpouring of love after news of his death. And even those who are reporting from the news side of things that OJ has passed is very careful in how they word their condolences. They don't say, directly, or some of them don't say directly, condolences to the Simpson family. Some of them do, but some of them don't. Some of them are more like condolences to everybody affected. They don't offer a direct apology that would offend another side, because in playing the neutrality game, they're not only trying to say, hey, OJ Simpson's people, we want you to know that we're sorry for the passing of this individual that was your family. But also we want to say we're sorry to the Goldman family and the Brown family, because they too are going through a lot of emotions and turmoil in this moment, because a lot of unresolved feelings have probably resurfaced in this moment of seeing the man that you believe is responsible for your loved one's death die without any punishment on this earth. And I mean, there's some argument to be given of he did serve time for 9 years, not for her murder, right? Because you can't double jeopardy anybody. But 33 years given for kidnapping and allegedly trying to steal back his memorabilia, which I think most people feel like that was payback. Like that wasn't necessarily, that was just them trying to find something to get him on. He had the civil case as well, where Goldman's family had already sued him for being responsible for the deaths of Goldman and Nicole, and he was found liable for their deaths in order to pay something like $33 million. He ended up not paying anywhere near that amount. I think he ended up paying like something like $133,000 in total. Still owes on that, and the Goldman family to this day is still trying to collect on that money, saying that now that $33 million has ballooned up to something like $110 million, basically coming for everything that he's got. I don't think he has $110 million. I know at one point he filed for bankruptcy. I don't think he's broke either. The way I'm understanding it is he had a trust fund set up. In that trust fund, all his NFL retirement savings go in there, maybe some other money too, but I know for a fact his NFL stuff goes in there. That trust fund paid out to him yearly while he was alive. And now that he's dead, they're trying to figure out where that money's going to go to. You would assume to his family, but Goldman's family is like, oh, no. He still owes us a lot of money. So they're also trying to collect on the sum of what they're owed, which I assume would wipe out whatever's sitting in that trust fund. I'm a little on that one, right? Because OJ does have a family. It said when he passed away, he had his children around him, and then he had his grandchildren around him. Whatever you feel about OJ, you can't put that on the children. You can't put that on his other family members, because they had nothing to do with that. They were born into an unfortunate circumstance. So I don't think it's right to try and steal what that man did work for. He did work for it. He was born in San Francisco as a poor black man in the 50s or 40s. Hats off to him for what he came from into what he became, right? That money should go to his family. They should be able to continue to sustain themselves off the life that they've been accustomed to. Just like we like to say for anybody else who's rich, they have that weird ass disease that rich people have when they commit a crime. The stupidest ish I've ever heard in my life. What is it? That dumb kid committed a crime where he like drove drunk and like killed somebody or killed multiple people and then like flew off to Mexico. What is that disease rich people have? What is that disease? Rich people. That's all we got to type in. Disease, rich people. No, not type 2 diabetes. That is what is affluent? Affluenza. That dumbass thing called affluenza. Rich people only have it. Only rich people have it. Broke people, you can't have this disease. You can't go into court. But that kid who killed people went into court and his defense was, I'm too rich, too spoiled to know better. You can't send me to jail. I'm sorry people died, but I was too rich. I didn't know what I was doing. I say that to say that you can't then take away something that these kids have been accustomed to just so that your family can feel some type of justification in somebody who committed something that's not even here anymore. Because now I don't feel like you're looking for justice. You're looking to destroy another family for profit. I think you deserve a kickback. I think you deserve some millions. I think you deserve to be paid. You lost 2 people. Your life was forever altered. Those 2 people can no longer contribute to the success of that family, but you don't deserve all that family's money. That's besides the point though. I think it's interesting when we start to break down what it means to go through the legal process, what it means to put trust into a system if that system's outcome don't necessarily determine the reality that we all live in. If a system that we've trusted to assign guilt or non-guilt to somebody labels a person non-guilty, but then the people, the general populace, have decided against the system that person is guilty, then what does it really mean what you've dictated? It only works if the people believe in it. But now we're seeing a case of, sure, the court can say what it wants to say, but we are going to choose to affect this person's actual life because we don't believe what you've said. And we're seeing it because, like I said, the outpouring of support simmered. Jimmy Kimmel said it. We're not seeing people outwardly come out and say like, we're going to miss the juice. We're going to miss the influence. We're going to miss the impact that he had. We're seeing some individuals who are aggressively fighting back and saying, hey, forget the juice passing away. This is about the Goldman family, the Brown family, who lost their chance at justice. You should be sorry for them. Real world outcome because of public perception on an individual. And that's a little bit scary because that means that if we have systems that don't align with what a person's views are, then they're going to buck that system. And if they're going to buck that system, what is the system in place for to begin with? All of this that we got surrounding us only works if everybody believes in it. The moment the cracks start showing, and I think we're seeing it right now in government, I think authority has diminished greatly a lot. I think most people recognize that. Most people don't have trust in authority. They don't have trust in the government. They definitely don't have trust in law enforcement. They don't have trust in the courts. Mainly because the individuals that are in those systems have done a lot to erode that trust. They've been bribed, they've been corrupted, they've done things for political gains, for monetary gains. The systems that have cracked have a reason for being cracked because the people we've put in them have cracked. Don't want to put this on his jacket. R. Kelly, he's a big name. Everybody knows him. Everybody knows what his crime is. When he passes away, we're all going to pass away. Not putting it on his jacket right now, just saying that's what's going to happen to all of us. When he passes away and people come forward and they offer their condolences and they're sad about losing this cultural icon in the community because of how much impact he had on the community. He was the backdrop to a lot of picnics, a lot of family get-togethers, a lot of outings, a lot of school events. A lot of people grew up listening to R. Kelly. When he passes, people are going to feel it. Should they be demonized for offering that support? And if they should be demonized because he was found guilty, should OJ face the same level, or OJ's supporters face that same level of scrutiny when he wasn't actually found guilty of a crime? Regardless of what you believe, court says he wasn't found guilty of a crime. Should they face the same amount of scrutiny? But I do see where if you're going to stand on the ledge, just be prepared for what comes with that ledge, right? With anything you do, you know where there's risk at and you take calculated risk. And certain things, especially in the social media world, have a lot of risk associated with them. And you've got to be prepared for those risks. You got to be willing to know that your skin is either thick or thin. And if it's thin, I wouldn't recommend standing on that ledge right now because as we're seeing, for the most part, the outpouring of support is for his family, not for OJ. At the end of the day, we like to pretend that the court of public perception does not matter. But in this case, clear as can be, we're seeing that that is not the case. So do you agree with that? Do you believe that the court of public opinion should not matter? Does it not matter? Or does it matter? And what are the ramifications of having the court of opinion sway reality for individuals? That's all I got. Bad Boys 3 is coming out. I'm sorry, Bad Boys 4. Bad Boys 4 is coming out. Fallout series is out. I would love to talk about that one day. It was going to be this conversation, but it wasn't. Oh, well, we'll talk about it next time. Thank you all so much for watching. Really appreciate your time. Remember, you can drop your comments in the comment section below. Y'all can go somewhere. Go watch something else. Go watch some OJ highlights or something. Go watch the juice on the football field. Or keep hating in the shadows, in the darkness. Maybe your opinion matters more than mine. Maybe my opinion doesn't matter at all. Does that matter? You know what you can do? Drop your comments in the comment section below. I'm just rambling at this point. I literally have nothing else. I don't know why you're still here. You can go. Absolutely go. I will see you all next week when we talk about something else. I don't know what yet. Maybe Fallout, unless something weird happens. Every week something weird happens. Why are you still here?